Hi, this is Joseph Williams, son of John Williams, and you are watching the Nerfherder Council.
What's up, guys? I am your host, JT. With me are AJ and Steve. Welcome to another episode of the Nerfherder Council. We are live right here on our YouTube page and on Facebook. Thank you for hanging out with us on, is it a beautiful Wednesday night? I guess it's not raining. So
yeah, it's Wednesday.
Oh, wait, yeah,
it'll
there
do.
you go. Yeah. Your mic sucks tonight, Steve. You're on your room mic again.
No, I'm not.
Yeah. Well, you
Oh,
sound
yeah.
like shit.
Oh, yeah.
Steve always with the computer problems. So anyways, thanks for hanging out with us. As usual, we are brought to you by Audible. Go to audibletrial.com/NHC for your 30-day trial and a free audiobook download. And go get your customizable Nerfherder Council swag at shop.nerfherdercouncil.com and get them while they last, because apparently we get cease and desist orders sometimes. So might as well get them. They'll be collector's items. 3 people might want them. So there you go. So
I don't know. Everything says it's working fine on my end.
well, our ears are telling us that your computer's full of shit.
Yeah. Your ears were wrong last time, too.
You just don't get it, do you?
No, I know that everything I'm doing is right because it always is.
Well, then how
It's
come
the
we
Apple
tell-
iPhone excuse. You're using it wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because it doesn't sound like you're using your laptop mic or anything to everybody listening.
Well, I can click on audio and everything right now, and it says it's not coming through the computer. So
There we go. Six of us. Get it together, Steve. Yes, get it together, Steve. Come on.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
according to the stupid StreamYard, everything's coming through my mic, so nothing's wrong.
I guess we're deaf now, AJ. Okay.
Yeah.
So
It's a shame. I thought things were going so well this week, too.
yeah,
I don't
who
know.
knew?
Maybe if we got on before we were supposed to podcast, we could fix things.
Or quit touching your shit every week and breaking it.
Everything fucking works!
It does not work. I'm telling you, you sound like you're in the back of the room.
All right. This is
There.
a great start. This is a fantastic start to the show. Riveting podcasting right here.
Why would you sit there and go, everything works? The whole fucking world can hear it's not working. God damn it. Like,
Oh, wow.
stop that.
I thought you punted him as a joke. He actually dropped. Wow.
Yeah. He
He
left.
rage quit. He rage quit our show.
That's fine. He rage quit the show. There you go. All right.
This is fantastic.
Well, maybe he'll fix it and jump back on. So we shall see. So there we go. Yeah, see?
Oh, great. And now I've got a poor signal warning, so apparently my Wi-Fi is spotty. We're doing great.
See, 6 of us says I hear it from the Northeast. So there you go. There you go. Joseph Wren, what's up, man? He says, is his microphone backwards? No, now it's just playing off. So we are Steveless. He got pissed off because his stuff wasn't working. Oh, there we go. All right, let's see. He's back.
He might be back.
All right.
Probably not.
Nope, same thing.
Everything says it is perfect on my end. I don't know what to tell you.
Except for the people listening. All right, so let's get into some news
We'll deal
here.
with it.
Let's get into some news here that I saw online today that kind of staggering, I thought. This is... correct me if I'm wrong, but we were all excited to see Acolyte, correct? Like, we thought that was going to be pretty cool, like, get a show about the Sith. And
Oh, yeah.
so apparently, the writer of the show, Leslie Headland, the writer-director, says that for the Acolyte, she brought in people who have never seen Star Wars to help write the story, and even went as far as to say that Star Trek inspired some points within it. Okay, so
There are a couple
Why-
things to unpack there. What's your take?
it sounds like one of the most putrid-ass ideas I've ever heard of. I mean, the main complaint about the sequel trilogy is that it's not cohesively written, and it's people. So I don't get it. I'm literally at a loss for words. It's like, why would you bring in people that have no idea what Star Wars is to write the thing? That is one of the most terrible ideas I have ever heard. You just
pretty
can't
much
do
what
that.
they did with 7, 8, and 9, isn't it?
Oh, there you go. Your mic's back on. Yeah, that's exactly that was my point.
Yeah, they brought in Star Trek guys for 7, and you see how well that worked out.
Right? Look at this, Dave Hudak. Look at this.
And see,
In World News today, the Palpatine estate claims that both Death Stars were fraternity pranks. He's bringing the humor. Jeez, what's up, man? I haven't seen you forever. Yeah, I like this is to me it's tone deaf is what it is. I don't know why they would even allow this to happen.
it's pretty ridiculous. I'll tell you a story of a franchise that they tried this before. It was called Star Trek. The last of the original run of movies, they did this where they're like, you know what, let's shake it up. Let's bring in a guy who has no experience with the franchise to get some fresh ideas in the room. And what you got was a turd of a movie that killed the movie franchise and caused the 2009 reboot because they realized they had run out of good ideas on the original run. And it was the poorest reviewed. And as a fan, I think it's by far the worst of the original run movies anyway.
Which one?
So
was
if you want to
that?
guarantee to shit the bed, you get someone who knows nothing about the property they're working on.
Yeah. Which one was that?
Nemesis,
Was
which
that
is
the
funny
one-
because it has Tom Hardy in it. It was just before Tom Hardy was really a big name, so
Yeah.
kind of flew under the radar.
Ugh.
But yeah,
I like if you want to have Star Trek influence the thing and bring in some Star Trek-y ideas, okay, but I think it's dangerous to say that out loud because you're going to get a lot of closed-minded fans that are the either-or type of people that are just going to crap all over that. I don't want any Star Trek in my Star Wars. Like, so I think that's probably something best kept to yourself until after it's already out. Like, if it's out and successful.
How'd AJ's camera freeze while he's pointing at you?
I have no idea. What the hell are you pointing at?
you were talking about closed-minded fans, so I just figured.
Oh, yeah. Well, no. Like, I don't mind because, I mean, there's some cool stuff. Like, I like a lot of the original Star Trek. You know, I mean, there's some cool stuff that can be done. But I just think it's kind of pissing into the wind, you know, to come out and say, oh, we use some Star Trek-ish elements. Okay. I mean, what do you think, Steve? I just think this is very, very, as I said, tone deaf.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to read the story on the other monitor right now, and just like it comes off exactly like you said. It just seems kind of weird and tone deaf. So mostly I looked for people that I felt could execute a great script and had different life experiences and different connections to Star Wars than I did.
But if they've
I
never
get
seen
that. Having a range of ideas is good.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine.
But if they've never seen Star Wars, how is their experience going to be different from hers? Oh, I know how it's different. They haven't seen a goddamn thing. So
Yeah,
how do they know what
having
they're
none.
writing
That's-
about?
Yeah, that's a way different experience with Star Wars. It truly is.
Here's our
Hey, Steve.
protagonist, Frank. Like, what?
Steve, toss the link to that article in the chat for everybody, will you?
I
God.
can probably do that.
Joseph Friend says, what guidelines were the writers given? Are they trying to focus on a specific area of the history without being influenced by the overall story? I don't think it went into that much detail, but again,
Yeah, this thing doesn't even have a release year yet, does it?
I thought it was 23, wasn't it?
Something like that.
Steve, I meant like, public, so
No,
people watching.
I'm not logged in like you guys are, so I can't put things in there.
Oh,
All right,
do
I
that
got
then.
it. I got you.
Yeah.
All right,
I got you.
there we go. I'll put it in
Oh.
there.
I mean, I
Or he's
should
got it.
do
There we
that
go.
one of these days, but
Yeah.
I'm still just a guest.
Steve, guest hosting for 5.5 years.
Yeah, I know my place.
Yeah, how can someone write about something that they have zero experience with? That makes absolutely no sense to me. I mean, maybe they're just saying, here, write here's the plot line. Write a part of this plot line without knowing what the hell anything else is going on with it. Maybe that's what they're doing, but
she's giving like
What's
a general
what's a-
idea and telling them to run with it. I don't know.
Yeah.
what's a Garth Mall?
Honestly, I think
emperors? Are we in China?
we did better last week trying to retcon Star Wars and Top Gun together. This one movie.
Well, you know why that was mildly successful is because we've seen both of them.
True.
We have a point of reference. Again, I don't know how you can write about something you've never seen.
We've
Does
instantly
not make
disqualified ourselves from this writer's room. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what is the point of that?
Have you seen Star Wars? Get the fuck out.
Yeah. Yeah. I love Star Wars. Nope, not for this project. See ya.
Furthermore, here's the other thing.
You just come in with that hat on, John, and they go, "You're fired."
Yeah.
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 How do you find anybody working in Hollywood who does not have familiarity with Star Wars at this point? I mean, it's been around for 45 years.
The only people that I know that haven't seen Star Wars are being willfully ignorant. They're purpose. I haven't seen it, and I'm never gonna.
Mennonites.
So, yeah, people without electricity. People who are blind and deaf. There is nothing tactile about Star Wars.
Sorry, Helen Keller, you've never seen these, and you never will.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't.
I'm reading another link. And it says the showrunner went on to say that, quote, hiring people that are not necessarily the diehard cutthroat fan that I am when it comes to Star Wars was necessary to generate conversation in the writer's room. Quote, it's weird to be the person going, well, in 325 BBY, and everyone's like, what are you talking about? She says, hold on, I'll send you a link. So basically she's trying to find half fans maybe instead of diehard fans.
But I don't understand, especially with something that people have been screaming to see forever. Like if it's about what we think it is, you know, the Sith, like especially like back in like the old times of the Sith, like the golden age of the Sith or whatever you want to call it, whatever term you want to use. Why do that with something like this? Like you're going to piss off a lot of people if you screw this up. So why are you taking chances with this? Do that with something that's not established, like Rangers of the New Republic or something like that. I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
Maybe.
Well, I like the approach where she says she's like too close to the source material to really be objective about it. So if she really does know her stuff all the way to like Legends canon of the Sith, and she's like, well, I don't want to just rehash the books, and that's pretty much all I know. It's actually pretty damn humble of her to be like, I need some other ideas in this room because otherwise I'm just going to film what's already been printed on the page.
Well, again, I understand that. Like if I went in there, I don't know all the Legends canon, okay? So you could put me in there. But I've seen the goddamn movies. How do you hire people that haven't even seen a second of the stuff or read a single page of the stuff? They have no frame of reference. None.
The links I'm seeing are not saying that. That first thing that you shared in the thread earlier made it sound like she's hiring people that have never seen the movie before, but the quotes from this stuff is saying that she's basically hiring people that know the movies but not as in depth as she does, or not so much the movies, but just Star Wars in general is not as in depth as she is.
Yeah, I think that's Twitter troll because that was a tweet from another podcast. That's not an actual news source saying this stuff.
Oh, really?
Well, hopefully it's not just clickbait because if that's the exact quote, that's crap. That's total.
Yeah,
crap.
like I said, the quotes I'm looking at, she's basically saying she's a super nerd and she doesn't want to keep explaining herself to these other people, so she's just bringing in people that are pretty much me, that are movies and call it a day kind of people, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, that makes sense, because I guess, I mean, if that's the case, I actually do agree with that outlook.
Yeah.
Because someone like me, if we're writing the story of the history of the Sith or whatever back at that time, like I don't know much of that at all, so I would maybe have fresh ideas.
Yeah.
As opposed
You-
to so
You
that makes
know
sense to me.
Star Wars, but you don't know too much about that era. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that's got to be tough because you've got the story group to keep things in line, but they want these fresh takes on stories, but then people get all bent out of shape when stuff doesn't line up. So, especially in an era like that where it's not like you can go back and check it out on like an episode of Clone Wars or one of the movies to get like the official story. This is all just like maybe a throwaway line here or there. It could just like miss you, blink and you miss it kind of a thing. So, yeah, maybe she's going back and being like, all right, we're going to write a whole bunch of material for this untold era of Star Wars. But while we're doing that and fleshing all this stuff out, we got to make sure that we don't contradict any details that were previously supplied.
Yeah.
And they've already had this problem on the Bad Batch where they showed at the very beginning of the first episode, they showed Order 66 on, I forget what planet it was, but it was Caleb Doom, Kanan.
Yeah.
As a Padawan when Order 66 happened and Depa Billaba gets killed. They already showed that in a comic book a couple years prior, and the two depictions don't line up, and everyone's all bent out of shape about that because, like, it happened in daytime, and it was supposed to be nightfall, and this and that. And like, look, the clones turned, the Jedi escaped. Who cares?
That's
Yeah.
I
But
think
you
that's
know,
something
you know though, if they come up with the story of like the history of the Sith, and they're like, yeah, it was on this planet. Oh hell, Clone Wars had this. In season 6, they went to Moraband, the ancient home of the Sith. But
Yeah.
in Legends, it was Korriban. So what the hell?
Oh,
Why'd
yeah.
they change the planet name? Like,
Yeah.
does it matter?
Well, see, the only thing I would say to that is that in that case, you're talking about Legends as opposed to official canon, and technically Legends doesn't count. So, well, no, actually back then, they hadn't said such a thing, because that would have been pre-Disney acquisition, wouldn't it have been? Yeah.
Yeah, that hit Netflix. So, no, actually, it was after. It was after
Well,
season 5. The last run of the last season of the official run was it, and then 2012 hit. Disney bought Lucasfilm, and they put out season 6 on Netflix.
Oh, that's right. Okay. All right. Well, then, I mean, that one's a BS argument because it's Legends versus canon, so they can do whatever they want. But I think they may have a leg to stand on with this thing, where it's different in the comic book than it is, in the Bad Batch, because they're both canon.
That's their own canon, yeah.
Yeah. So
But it ultimately doesn't matter. And
Yeah.
my take, anything that they're talking about, if this does take place, like her example was in 332 BBY or whatever, if they are going back centuries in the timeline to show like more of the past of the Sith, like this has always been like a fable, right? A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. So we've always worked with this whole like unreliable narrator.
Yeah.
That's like the literary device. It's called unreliable narrator when it's like a fable being told, so there's exaggeration implied because it's a story, it's not a historical account. So, all right, so you want to go back a couple centuries and get some details wrong? Sure, no problem.
Wow, we learned something. I
Yeah,
didn't know
right?
that was a thing.
Mhm.
I always thought unreliable narrator was the stupid bastard telling me something that's wrong. That's not what happened. On this episode, he opens the door and falls out a window. God damn it, he's on the ground floor.
You
wrong
want an
with you?
unreliable narrator? That's me trying to recount celebration stories.
That's both of us. I can't let you fall on that sword alone, my friend.
Hey man, do you remember back in Orlando celebration 2012? No,
No.
I do not.
We forget so much. We rarely bring up the whole stealing a golf cart thing from the first one. So
I had forgotten.
Yep. Yeah.
The things
So,
you remember after a dozen years almost.
Who knew?
Drinking
But-
with the maintenance man at the hotel.
Yep, did that one. God, we kind of have like 5 episodes of just dumb celebration stories.
Yeah.
But
And
Yeah.
yet we struggled to come up with an idea tonight.
it's because we killed our brain cells at celebration all those
Right.
years.
Oh, well, then this is our last show if we're going on that logic.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, it's weird
Ugh.
that they're doing this press junket and trying to answer questions on this show already because, like I said, the details are so vague. To say something like that is going to get people like us talking, and probably not in a good way, it doesn't seem to be like worthwhile for the show. Like it's already got to prove itself because now we're on edge and we're nervous.
Yeah. Well, that podcast, and I won't put them on blast in case I don't want to be rude, but they're doubling down on that, saying that that's what So they tweeted it and they put it online. So yeah, I don't see how that's possible. But I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
I mean, after these shows come out, they'll, they always do always they've done it with the Mandalorian only, but if they do it with Andor and Kenobi and stuff, where they have like the behind the scenes show after the full season has been released, maybe we'll find out then that it's true. Like I'd never seen Star Wars, so I mean, who knows? Up until then, I guess it's all speculation. So,
Or maybe they're just trying to shoot the shit for Star Wars for a whole new generation of fan. And it's not. We've talked about it before, where Star Wars might not be for us anymore.
yeah. Well,
that's the thing is you've got such a breadth of fandom now and so many stories coming out. It's fine if you don't like everything. If you don't like this, then they probably got 3 other things in the pipeline that you'll love.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what I've always said is that, even the stuff that I don't like, I'm glad that it exists because it creates the potential for more stories that I might like.
Mhm.
So, I mean, who knows?
And they're not going to nail everything. So with all the stuff they're going to put out, they're bound to fuck up something, right?
Well, let's hope it's not Andor or Kenobi, because I'm really looking forward to those. Yeah. Yeah. See, look, Joseph Wren. He says, "You've never seen Star Wars? Then why is Boba Fett in your story?" Exactly. That would just be thrown in there by the people that have seen Star Wars.
Yeah. They wrote a story that they had no knowledge about, and they just go, give us somebody that was in one of the other movies. They're like, Boba Fett, Bob A. Fett.
Feet.
Bob
A. Feet. Yeah, whatever.
Let's put that guy in.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I was trying to look through Twitter to see if there was more on this, and I'm not seeing a lot. So
I just Googled it and saw a bunch of show links, and nothing says what that tweet said earlier. So
yeah, I'm not seeing anything.
yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, Steve, you brought up an interesting point a minute ago. You're saying maybe Star Wars isn't for us anymore, and it's like, I mean, yeah, I'm really kind of torn as to what audience they're actually going for, because it doesn't seem as kid oriented as it was. It almost seems like they are pandering more to the older fan. I don't know how you guys feel. Like, I mean, sure, you've got like Resistance, and you had the Jedi Academy show on YouTube with Ahmed Best that was fun for kids. But for the most part, I mean, the Mandalorian is not, oh hey kids, check this out.
Right.
Kenobi, you have to assume isn't going to be like that. Andor probably you would think is not like that.
I can't talk tonight. I'm actually afraid that the Mandalorian might have screwed it up for the rest of us, because so many people that had no knowledge or cared about Star Wars now all of a sudden have this love affair with Baby Yoda. So now,
Yeah.
like these guys are sitting out there and they're like, well, how do we pander these idiots that we just roped in with Baby Yoda? So you start to go, let's make more Baby Yoda type shit.
I was wondering if are they gonna try to like replicate that like another like cute character?
Yeah. So more mini Yodas and more porgs. Let's
I like porgs; those are fun.
right, but they're a cute little thing that people will love for no reason.
They get all pissed off because people think it's still kiddie stuff, and they're like, "All right, fine, now we're going full frontal nudity."
No, remember how everyone got bent out of shape because of Baby Yoda eating the eggs? Like,
Oh
those
my
are
God, yeah.
offspring. That's horrific. And
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
he's eating. It's a thing. It's
Yeah,
okay.
apparently
No,
those
he
people
must be
have
cute
never,
all the time.
yeah,
yeah.
they've never had scrambled eggs or anything in your life. Oh man.
Well, next, Josh Toomey, more Ewoks.
Yeah, right?
Yes, that'd be perfect.
It's just
Oh my God.
Ewoks and porgs, and it's all in an animated series, and everybody's gonna love it. Yay!
It
then
does
they-
seem like Star Wars is kind of cashing in on trends that way, doesn't it? Like we were talking about this Visions series coming up, and it's an anthology, and it's all made by Japanese animators. So it's Star Wars anime, and it's like unrelated stories, just little. I don't know how long these episodes are going to be, but like anime is all the rage. So now we've got Star Wars anime.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a big audience for anime, so I guess it makes sense. You know, Joseph Wren, are they going to make Muppet Babies but with Baby Yoda?
But you're right that
crossover.
AJ, you're right in that they like to cash in on this stuff because now anime in general is always pretty popular, but now there's this thing of people taking shows or current things and turning it into an anime style, which is like the hot new thing to do. So Star Wars is doing it, and the Masters of the Universe reboot is all going to be anime style. Like that seems to be the cool thing to do now, is make anime stuff. So yeah, look, cash in on it.
Yeah, and I think that's what it is. Like we said, the franchise is 45 years old next year. There's so much lore built up. One thing that they've done that keeps it relevant is like every generation or so, they kind of like not reboot, but they shift the focus to a new set of characters, right? So like we grew up with Luke and Han and Leia and Chewie, and then you got the generation that grew up with Anakin and Obi-Wan and Padme and the droids and Darth Maul and Dooku and Grievous, and then you've got this newer generation now that grew up with Rey and Poe and Finn and Ahsoka if they were in between, that kind of thing. So I don't have a problem with them coming up with new ideas that aren't really like related to the existing canon, because it's like the comic book problem. Like one of the reasons I don't get into comics as much as the MCU is awesome is because like where do you begin? Like if you want to read or follow the X-Men, where do you start? There's like 30 or 40 years of back issues.
Yeah.
It just seems like impossible to have an entry point. So like a series like this that goes in a completely uncharted era of the timeline, like the High Republic does, you can get in on that and not have to really know anything about the rest of the saga.
Yeah.
But what they've done, it's a good job. Like the Mandalorian success, it was a standalone story in season 1, but it pulled from elements. So if you knew Star Wars and you're like, hey, that's cool, I remember that. But if you didn't, it stood on its own merits.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I like the way they're like, paying off the longtime viewers like us, but you don't have to be a super nerd about it to enjoy the story.
It's like I was just reading on the Vision stuff that it's going to they're going to release that first, and then it's all short films, however short they're going to be. But then it's going to tie into a novel that comes out after that stuff airs on Disney Plus. So it's like if you want more, you can watch this, and then you go grab the. I think they said the book is called Ronin. Will be the. It comes out in October. So all that'll come out. If you want to keep going, hey, here's a book to read. So
they're doing a lot more of that. Like High Republic is very much that way, where they put out like a first wave of books. Now they've got a comic line, and then the second wave of books is going to build off what happens in the comics.
Right.
So I know we hate to read and do all this stuff, but we might have to just to figure out what the hell's going on pretty soon.
Yeah, it's almost like it's kind of forcing us to want to. Well, it's not forcing us to want to read, but it's forcing us to read if we want to know everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, Joseph Wren says, I had the same problem with Doctor Who. The solution is just start watching, just start reading, etc. Don't worry about the jumping on point.
Agreed.
And also, Steve, we got called out by Jim Brokamp. What's up, man? These new idiots that just discovered Baby Yodas. You elitist. Look, man, if you're just discovering Baby Yoda, I don't know if we would call you an idiot, but you have been living under a rock. That's like, how do you not know Grogu? Like, come on. Damn, dude,
what? He has a
everywhere.
Name?
I figure once you got a breakfast cereal, you jump the shark.
Yeah, right.
Gotta know that.
Joseph's right, because I absolutely love Doctor Who at this point, and I started at the Ninth Doctor. Like everything else before that, I honestly don't care, and you don't need to know it. So I started at the Ninth and worked forward, and it's perfectly fine. They tie back enough that they tell you enough about the previous Doctors that you don't need to necessarily go back and watch it from the 1960s or whenever the hell it started. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I feel like Marvel's starting to do that too, where they're being very careful to give you whatever you need from the previous 23 movies that you didn't see if you just want to start watching on Disney Plus. And like Star Wars kind of has to do the same thing. Like I'm really trying to think, like when Mandalorian came out, what did you need to know about Star Wars before you started watching that? And I really don't think there's anything. The story made perfectly good sense without having any backstory whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, they did a good job balancing that because, it was a cool thing. I think some of the reveals are definitely wasted if you don't know, the backstory. So I mean, like, when Luke comes, you're just like, okay, who's that guy? Whereas people who know Star Wars are, crapping their pants.
Right.
So, there's...
But yeah, he's right in the fact that there's a kitty.
Hi, Bubba.
What's up, Bubs?
He's right in the fact that you get to that point of the Mandalorian and it's cool. But like, if you never knew anything about Star Wars, you're like, hey, I don't know who that guy is, but that's pretty cool. He just killed everybody. Sweet.
But do you think they can bank on that for everything, though? I mean, it's like that it really seems like a lightning in a bottle thing with the Mandalorian, where it's so good that it really can stand on its own if you don't know the backstory that it's referencing. Like, I mean, how often do you think they can get away with that? Because that's not very common.
Well, they love to connect it, yeah. But everyone needs their onboarding, and then they can start connecting stuff. Hot take, I think Mandalorian season 2 was weaker than the first because its whole job was to bridge storylines and set up other series and stuff. Like I loved the self-contained of the first season. The second one was like, remember Bo-Katan from Clone Wars? And maybe you don't because you never saw Clone Wars. Or remember Boba Fett from those movies? Maybe you never saw the movies. So much of what was going on there was just like payoff to people that had been watching for a while. Or, like I said, setting up like the Book of Boba Fett, Rangers of the New Republic, the Ahsoka series. Like the actual story of the Mandalorian itself was kind of secondary because of all the other characters that they put around him in that series, I think.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked season 2. I don't know if I have a preference for one season or the other. You know, I was a little nervous going into it, like with all the the special cameos and stuff that they were supposed to have, with past characters and whatnot. But I think they did it well. It's not like you find out you're gonna have Ahsoka, and it's not like she was in there like 5 out of the 8 episodes. She was just basically there. Like for 20 minutes and then out. So yeah, but again, I just don't know how long they can keep that going. It's a little dangerous to bank on that. Because
See, this is the problem of being who we are as fans, though. We know too much. And like you thought I was putting you on blast in the text thread earlier today, JT, but I'm serious. Like, adults make crappy fans. They really do. Like, we've got money. We can spend, and that's what they really want. But like when we were kids, we would just like accept whatever they trotted out and be like, okay, that's what it is. Like, we didn't judge or especially prejudge what was going to come out because we expected it was going to be terrible. Like so many people got pissed at the sequel trilogy for either one reason or another. There's the camp that said it didn't do enough new stuff. It was just a rehash. And they wanted new stuff, so it didn't live up to their expectations. Or people that said it went too far afield and didn't have enough callback stuff, which wasn't what they expected. So it's this problem of like when we grow up, we think we know what's best for whatever our franchise happens to be, and kids are just like, great, new story, I'll accept it because they put it out there for me.
That is so hard to comment on because you're right, but I think there's so many other factors that are involved in that. I mean, like, social media and how much more we know about this stuff before it comes out plays a big role. And also, I mean, when we were kids, all we had was the original trilogy, and those movies are pretty much flawless. So it's a little different now that there's so many other things, and it's not all like 100% great. So I think it's kind of like a melting pot. I definitely agree with you, but I just think that there's more at play than kind of labeling it with that broad brush, saying adults make crappier fans.
Well, I remember even going back to the prequel era when we saw the trailers for like episode 1, and there's so much crap that we'd never seen before. The droid army and Darth Maul and all this stuff. And even at that point, we were in our 20s, and never did I go like, does this feel like Star Wars to me? It was just like, holy crap, I don't know what that is, and I really want to find out. Well, but that's going to be amazing.
But I mean, Steve, back me up here. We do that now. I don't think that's
do.
changed.
But I think you're right. You mentioned social media. I think the problem is the internet as a whole. We, even during the prequels in 99, like, we had the internet, but it wasn't so relied upon. It wasn't so prevalent in our lives. But now they say something's coming out and you just immediately Google who the hell's in it, who's the lead role, who's the director, who's it.
Yeah.
Like, because that's the life we live now, where it's like we need to know every stupid little detail about it before the thing comes out. Where, like you said back in the day, AJ, you didn't care. It's because you didn't think about it because you didn't have that access to it that you do now. So maybe
I gotta confess,
we need to go
E3
internet
this week.
Yeah, we need to go internet black every time something says it's coming out, I guess.
Yeah, pretty
so
much.
we can just be excited about it.
Yeah, I'm part of the problem. E3 was this week, and being a Nintendo fanboy, I watched the release trailer for a new Metroid game coming out in October. And the trailer itself was like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. And then I went and I watched like 15 reaction videos and frame by frame breakdowns to see like what the boss looked like, what's her suit look like, and do we like this concept or that concept? Like, no one's played the game yet. We don't have a clue, but we're like obsessing over it like we've lived with it for years already. It's just what we do.
Yeah, again, it's real difficult for me, man, because I still am. I'm an adult, but I am. I mean, granted, it's stupid to say this, like, because I'm, on a Star Wars show and have been for 5.5 years, but like, I don't dig into this stuff as quite as deeply as a lot of fans might. To me, it's like either it's cool or it's not. I don't. I'm not looking for the social justice messages. I'm not looking for underlying meaning. It's like I've said how many times, like, I want to see the Millennium Falcon flying around kicking ass. I want to see lightsabers. I want to see I want to see the Force.
Yeah.
Like, if you give me that, I'm happy. It's so I still have that kind of like little kid kind of outlook, and I think a lot of people do.
So that's why you haven't watched The Bad Batch. There's no Millennium Falcon. There's no Jedi flying around.
Dude, I gotta tell you, it's like it sucks. Like it really burns. No, it's
I love
you're
harping on
right.
you.
No, it's fine. Like, but excuse me. Like, I hate that I can't get into the animated stuff because, like, I want to get into the Clone Wars so badly. And I did watch the last couple episodes of that, most recent season, and it was incredible. But I didn't go back and then go, oh, now I got to watch the whole rest of Clone Wars. Like, and the same thing with Bad Batch. I'm just like, okay, well, if I haven't watched Clone Wars, I don't have any frame of reference for this, so I don't know why I'm getting into this.
Well, okay, that
they're
comes
mutant
back to our point about
clones, like-
jumping on. Like, where do you jump on with this when you've got 7 seasons of the Clone Wars behind it? It's designed to be its own thing, and that's kind of the brilliant part of it. Is like the only really connective tissue are a few of the characters they interact with, and if you know, and if you don't, it doesn't matter. And the 4-episode arc of season 7 where they were originally introduced, if you even need that, and you don't even really need that. So,
okay,
yeah, I mean that 4-episode arc was really just a backdoor pilot.
okay. Joseph Friend's giving you crap. He says, stop watching reaction videos.
He's right. It's like, because Jana, you and I both kind of, we look at this the same way. We do it the same way when the movies come out, that we purposely don't go and do the deep dives into everything. We kind of stick to the trailers and maybe a little bit whatever we share with each other, whatever comes across social media, but we don't actively search it out, and
Yep.
So you and I are both real good at that. And honestly, I kind of agree with you. The same thing with the animated stuff. Like, I tried so many times, and I did finally get through the Clone Wars, but like, I could watch it for a few days, and I would watch like 7-8 episodes a day. But then for some strange reason, I would just get out of it, and then a few days would go by and I would kind of forget to go back and watch it again. So then, like, AJ would get on our asses about not knowing what happened in season 5. And I'd be like, shit, I got to go back and watch it. And then I go and I force myself to watch some of it. And I watch like half a season, and then I watch something else on TV and I forget to go back to it. And it's kind of like how Bad Batch is with me, that I just, like, with Loki coming out and all these shows that are just starting on TV for the summer season and stuff, it's like the Bad Batch stuff just keeps, like, I forget that it even exists to even want to go watch it, And I don't know why, because I believe it's probably a good series, and I liked the couple episodes that the Bad Batch were in that last season of Clone Wars, but I just keep forgetting it exists.
Yeah, I mean, it does pile up. I mean,
yeah.
Peel back the curtain. I still have to finish Falcon and Winter Soldier before I start Loki, and I haven't started Bad Batch.
Wow.
So it's like, yeah, it's just,
As a Captain America fan, I thought you'd be all over that series.
I really liked it, and there was something nagging me in the back of my mind that, like, that guy's not Captain America. Who's that? Who's that fake white guy chump? That's not Captain America. Like, it pissed me off that it wasn't Chris Evans. So it sucks that my mind works that way. because I really want to get into stuff, but then it's like, like I'm narrow-minded what I listen to in music. Like I would love to go explore bands that are like, in the same genre as stuff that I like. But if I go listen to like a B level or C level like thrash metal band, like thinking like, oh, this is cool, I'm really into Anthrax and Megadeth, when I listen to them, my mind goes, that's just generic Metallica. I'm like, shut up! I want to listen to this, damn it! I don't want to think that. But I watched that damn Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and my mind's going, that's not Chris Evans. That guy sucks. And it's like, yeah, that's the point, stupid. Just watch the show. It's like this inner monologue, this battling myself. Like,
and then
it just sucks.
People like me, I have the attention span of I don't know, let's just say because of my personal thing, an autistic 5-year-old. And I see something shiny and then I go and I forget about the other stuff. Like I just stumbled upon the animated Harley Quinn series on HBO Max. And now I'm like addicted to watching that instead of watching the other shit that I had planned on watching in the first place. I'm just like, ooh, something shiny. And I go and I start watching 26 episodes of something else that I didn't even plan on. So
I'm one of those people that likes to finish something. If I've started it and it's all available, I like to finish it.
I try to, and it never works out that way.
That's perfectly fine. I think that's the fault of the show. If something was really, hooking you, then you'd stick with it. I had the same thing. I got like, I had this weird thing a couple weeks ago where I ended up finding out that I was like one episode away from finishing 3 different shows. I knew I was like getting towards the end. And I was like, I'll put that down and watch something else for a while. I'm like, I'll go back to that now. And 3 finales in a row. I'm like, what the hell?
Why did I just
I knew I was
this?
close, but come on. Yeah.
Right. Why did I not just finish this?
Yeah, so I totally get that. But yeah, I got bad news for you guys as far as the Bad Batch. Clone Wars was like a 3 or 4 episode arc, and then it would go on to something else. This is actually like a in sequence kind of show. It just sticks with them the whole time.
There is no jump point. You start with episode 1 or you miss something.
Yeah.
Well, that to me that's a good thing though, because the fact that Clone Wars, if you want to watch it in chronological order, you have to look it up, and it's all like watch 4 episodes from season 3 and then 5 from season 2 and then jump to 10 episodes of season 4, like,
and then go back to season 3.
Yeah, it really is.
The thing that I do like about the Clone Wars format, though, is like JT, you're talking about how like you're so far behind. You can just look up chunks though, which is nice. Like if you just want to see the Darth Maul episodes, you can just watch those and not miss anything in between, which is great. So if you got time to watch 4 episodes and nothing else, great. You get a Darth Maul story. Or if that's not your jam, you go and watch something else about the clones or whatever the hell.
Yeah.
So that part is kind of cool. I hope Visions is sort of like that, where it's almost like the Marvel What If series, where it's like it doesn't really count yet, but if they want to tell stories off of that, then they can go somewhere with it,
Yeah, for sure. That's probably what they're doing. They're just paying these people like pennies and hoping that something works out so they get like an awesome new idea for free.
Yeah.
Like, all right, thanks, pal. We're going to run with this one now. Like, thanks for your intellectual property.
Yeah, right.
Much appreciated. So, well, cool. Well, that was a good discussion, man. On that note, why don't we get out of here for this week? Steve, sorry for yelling at you at the beginning. But,
that's pretty standard at this point. So.
Well, I figured you could. I figured you couldn't yell.
Well,
back
your
because
mic not working is also standard.
Yeah, nice.
Hey, in my defense, StreamYard was being stupid and set my audio settings back to something that I haven't used in months. So I don't know what the hell that was a thing, but
I always check it for that reason, just to make sure. I had that happen once. So, but,
yeah, apparently I need to click the cam mic button every time we go live now and make sure it's using the right shit.
There you go. Well, thanks again, everybody, for checking out another episode of the Nerfherder Council. If you are not watching live, you can catch the audio replays of the show pretty much anywhere you find your podcasts. If you'd like to jump into the chat and hang out with us live, we are on every other Wednesday at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on our YouTube channel and our Facebook page, so make sure to come hang out with us and be a part of the chat. Thanks, Joe, for coming out again. Good to see you, Joseph Wren. My buddy Josh Toomey had to jump in there, of course. Dave Hudek, haven't seen you in forever. Six of us, it's good to see you, man. And again, don't forget, we're brought to you by Audible. Go to audibletrial.com/NHC for your 30-day trial and a free audiobook download. You can get customizable Nerfherder Council swag at shop.nerfherdercouncil.com. Joseph Wren, what did I tell you about the goddamn space whales?
That's why I was laughing. I saw it pop up on the bottom, and I'm like, how long is John gonna go before acknowledging this?
Yeah.
And it wasn't long. I was not disappointed.
I hate those space whales, man. I hate them. But so if you are watching on YouTube, please click the like and subscribe button. Hit that notification button so that you can be notified when we go live, even if it's like a minute or two later than we're supposed to, like tonight. Hashtag I'm an idiot. So, yep. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Once again, I'm your host, JT, at Dog Pound Jedi. He is AJ.
At Drake Adams 579.
He is Steve.
At Nerfherder Steve.
And we will catch you next time.